Welcome to another episode of Our Daily Chews, your go-to podcast for all things nutrition. I'm Lynn Clayton, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and your host. I help you sort fact from fiction with a research-based and common sense approach to nutrition science. Let's dig in. Today, we're zooming in on a macronutrient that often gets a bad rap. I'm referring to carbohydrates. As the low-carb craze continues, I'll discuss what carbohydrates are and why they are an essential part of our diet. We'll focus on types of carbohydrates and the best way to incorporate some carbs into your diet. Carbohydrates come in various forms. Classifying carbohydrates is a little more complicated than just simple versus complex or refined versus unrefined. The term carbohydrate includes three distinct types of carbs. We have sugars, starches, and fiber. We've got simple carbs like natural sugars such as fructose found in fruits and lactose found in milk. And we also have added or refined sugars found in some processed foods. Then there are complex carbs like starch found in whole grains, legumes, and starchy vegetables like potatoes and corn. Fiber is found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, and beans. It plays a very important role in keeping us healthy. You might even say fiber is a superstar nutrient when it comes to health. So if someone is on a low-carb diet, ask them if they're avoiding sugar, starch, or fiber. Avoiding excess sugar is a good thing, but let's not throw out the fiber too. Remember, fiber is a good carb. Starch is a good carb, and a little natural sugar is okay. Moderation is key. Maybe we should just call it a moderate carb diet. So what do carbs do for us? Carbohydrates are our body's preferred source of energy, providing fuel for our brain, muscles, and every cell in between. They also help regulate blood sugar levels and support digestion. Fiber acts as a prebiotic or a food source for probiotics, which are the beneficial bacteria found in our gut. And they also taste good and make us happy. Now, on to the fun part. Where do we find these magical carbs? Well, they're hiding in plain sight. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, and legumes are all fantastic sources of carbohydrates. And let's not forget about the occasional sweet treat. Yes, dessert is a source of carbs in the form of sugar, but it doesn't contribute essential nutrients like other carb foods do. So it's always a good idea to control our sweet tooth. The only foods that contain little to no carbs are eggs, meat, fish, and poultry. Yep, the foods listed on a keto diet. But what about those trendy low-carb diets? While they might promise quick weight loss or better metabolic control, they often overlook the importance of carbs in our diet. Our bodies need some carbohydrates for energy. It's actually the body's preferred fuel. Having carbs in our diet spares protein and fat from being used as fuel. It allows them to do what protein and fat need to do: repair muscle, make hormones, etc., not be burned for energy. So cutting out carbs completely isn't the best idea. Now let's shine the spotlight on fiber, the unsung hero of carbohydrates. Fiber not only promotes digestive health, but also helps lower cholesterol levels. It can help lower blood sugar. It keeps us feeling full and satisfied. It feeds beneficial microbes in our gut that support immune function, and it helps with constipation. What's not to love? You can find fiber in foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Pretty much all of your plant foods. So, how much carbohydrate should we be eating? Well, the recommended daily intake varies based on factors like your age, gender, and activity level. But as a general rule of thumb, about 45 to 65% of your total daily calories will come from carbohydrates. For example, for someone following a 2,000 calorie diet, 45% of their calories would be 900 calories. Each gram of carbohydrate contains about 4 calories. So 900 divided by 4 is 225 grams of carbohydrate per day. At 65% of your calories, that would be 1,300 calories divided by 4, or 325 grams of carbs per day. Now, to some people, that may seem like a lot, and there are those that may choose to do less than 45% of their calories from carbs for things like weight loss or to lower blood sugar, and that's not a bad idea. Just keep in mind that it's not necessary to completely avoid carbohydrates. That would be difficult to do, and it takes the fun and variety out of eating. So if you're wondering what the right amount of carbohydrate would be for you, working with a registered dietitian can help you answer that question. But don't carbohydrates cause obesity? Well, the short answer is no. The cause of obesity can be complex, but it's related to excess calories. Those excess calories may come from protein, fat, carbohydrate, or alcohol. It's all about the calories relative to your activity level. So don't blame it on the carbs, but choose your carbs wisely. Okay, but what about diabetes? Doesn't too many carbohydrates, like excess sugar, contribute to diabetes? Well, carbohydrates are not the cause of diabetes. It's true that the amount of carbs must be controlled for those who have diabetes, since sugars and starches break down into glucose, which is blood sugar, in our bodies. But even people with diabetes need a little carbohydrate in their diet, especially if they are taking medication to lower their blood sugar. Carbs ensure our blood sugar doesn't drop too low. Now that we understand the benefits carbs offer, let's wrap things up with a little ode to carbs. Oh, carbs, how we adore you. In fruits and grains and pasta so yummy. You give us energy, you fill our tummy. You keep us full, you help us poop. So, my dear friends, heed my advice. Low carb fads might meet their end, for carbs are crucial and not a sin. In our quest for health, they are so nice. Keep the fruit, keep the grain. Watch the added sugars, yes indeed, but load up on fiber, it's what you need. Love your carbs, enjoy them again. In every colorful meal, they find their way. For a balanced diet, they're truly the star. Here's to embracing carbs, whoever you are. Having some carbs may make your day. This podcast is sponsored by Clayton Nutrition, a private medical nutrition therapy practice offering telehealth services for those needing nutrition therapy to prevent, treat, or manage chronic health issues. Whether it's diabetes, cardiovascular concerns, food allergies, or digestive issues, we focus on good nutrition for better health. Check out my resources, blog articles, and one-to-one nutrition services at claytonnutrition.com. Some insurance plans are accepted. That's it for today's episode of Our Daily Chews. Thank you for joining me, and remember to subscribe and share with your friends. Stay tuned for more bite-sized nutrition insights. This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare professional. I recommend you seek out help from a trained professional who can work with you in your specific situation.